want to go by automobile. I want to go by train.
Okay, we'll go by train.
Oh, choo-choo! All aboard!
Coleman on the line. Hey, Dave. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Mike. How you doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing just fine. So a lot of interesting things happened on my behalf, though, past couple of weeks ago. But we did discuss that, though, on that special version, though, when I had you on there for a brief time, though. But anyway, I did take a return visit, though, 8 days later, though. Yeah, they were making some progress, slowly but surely, with that derailment site in Attica. So they were working on getting the crossing put together and everything. Still removing some of the junk and debris, though. And really, it didn't look a whole lot different than a week earlier, though. I think mainly they were working on track maintenance and getting it up to par where they can run the trains a little faster than 25, per se. Defect detector wasn't operating. I guess it took it out somewhere, real short to the cross of there. So then I took another visit here briefly a couple of days ago. Got a spectacular shot them slicing open the tank cars and peeling the metal off and everything and chewing it up with some kind of a chewer over there. So it was the day I went out to do a run from Danbury to Oak Harbor that day, and I went there first to do a brief visit, though, and they had quite a bit of progress, so that would be another week later, though. So that video opening will be coming out Monday. So
interesting.
Yeah, they did make progress about 2 weeks later, though, and I got a good shot of them cutting that car up, though. Then the excavator grabbing that top of the tank car and peeling it off and flopping it on the ground as though it was cut literally in half. So it was a corn syrup car, too. That one was one of them short, let's see, hobo shoestring, though, God rest his soul, called them Vienna sausage cars, so they're shorties. Anyway, that's enough out of me. So what do you got for me this week?
Yeah, a lot of different stuff going on, Mike.
I bet there is.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things going on. Couple of big stories revolve around, I guess like a lot of looting and stuff that's been going on. One of them was out west, and then the other one was down in Memphis. And I guess the one out west, a lot of the people who've been going in these BNSF trains that are stopping out in the desert, they're going after like Nike sneakers. I guess.
Really?
Somebody was saying in Perrin, Arizona, thieves allegedly cut an air hose on a BNSF train back in January and unloaded almost 2,000 pairs of unreleased Nike shoes worth like they thought $440,000
dollars.
So, yeah, I guess they were these shoes, these Air Jordan shoes or sneakers, I should say. Obviously, basketball shoes. They're like a Michael Jordan shoe was supposed to be retailing at $225 per pair. So obviously, these guys are going to try to make money for them, and it's crazy that this is happening out there. I guess the other spot this is really going on a lot at. We've heard L.A., we've heard Chicago, but I guess Memphis is really a real issue with this. There's a ton of people who are doing this down in Memphis, and I was watching the news report on this, Mike, on the Fox channel there in Memphis. They showed it online. I guess the railroads are putting up like fences and stuff, like razor wire fences and things like that to somehow they're really trying to make sure that people are not, cutting it and not breaking into these trains. But it's hard to find a spot where you can, because people can get to these, all you have to do is walk along the tracks. And if there's no crew for several hours, people are going to continue to do this. So
yeah.
It's a really tough situation for these railroads.
Wow, so I guess I better beware of Nike shoes being sold extra cheap or something. Interesting.
Yep. So that was a big story that's going on right now, and I think that's gonna be ongoing. There's gonna be more updates. Like how they try to police it. It's some of this comes back to, Mike, that the railroads, just don't have enough personnel out there. They just don't have enough police and enough people out there watching this stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what shakes down with that. Other couple stories that are big this week. I heard in Canada, there's talk about a high-speed route being built between Toronto and Quebec City, and it sounds like it's 620 miles. They're talking about the trains being a possibility of running at 185 miles an hour. And
wow.
Yeah, so I guess they're talking about, reducing the travel time, obviously, improving productivity, reducing emissions as well. And I'm guessing this would have to be parallel to the CN and the CP lines, especially the CN line where the Via Rail currently runs. So this is going to be interesting to see how this goes down. I guess, the country is the Prime Minister, who, he's been in the news for a lot of things lately. He's behind this whole thing. The new train called Alto, I guess, would cut travel times in half, and the Toronto to Montreal trip, I think that's like a 4.5 or 5 hour trip right now, would go down to like 3 hours with these new trains. So,
wow.
Yeah, we'll see how this shakes out, Mike. Really interested to see if they pull this off in Canada.
Wow, 180. Wow, that's booking, man. It really is. That's more than they do from Washington or Philadelphia to New York, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God, yeah, it's huge. Yeah, that's a big. That would be just massive to do something like that. And then while we're talking about big things that have been happening lately, there are a lot of derailments that happened lately too. We'll go back to some freight topics here, freight railroad topics.
Sure.
Union Pacific, we've been talking for probably ever since I've been on the show with you about Union Pacific being the kind of the ultimate, I guess if you compared it to pro wrestling, they're the ultimate villains or heels in railroading these days. They've taken this precision railroading and they've just forced it down everybody's throat. And they had 3 more derailments last week. One was in Yuma, Arizona, out on I think they called it the Sunset Route. And there was a guy on train orders who was saying that he normally rail fans out there. I'm trying to find the post here. The guy was saying that normally he watches trains there. The guy's name is Third Switch. And I guess with this double stack train derailed out there in Yuma, he normally rail fans out there. And I guess also there was a derailment in Tornillo, Texas, and Camden, Arkansas on the Pine Bluff side. So, the thing with Union Pacific is that they don't care about anyone but themselves, and the profits. Like I said, when I made the analogy, they're the heel or the villain. They've turned their backs on the railroaders who put all the effort into them, and it's all about the profits at the end of the day, Mike, in Wall Street. And they don't even care about the productivity. And BNSF, I've heard some stories too, is getting that way with a lot of people. There was a big post on them as well about the Montana Rail Link that they took over, and a lot of the old Montana Rail Link employees, I guess, are resigning or quitting or going into other industries because they just said the way BNSF is treating them is just wrong. So it's amazing how these railroads have really sold their soul to Wall Street, and that's what it's turned into.
Yeah, it's all about money, of course. Absolutely. So, what else are you at there? I don't know. I don't know what the reply is on that. I've been so freaking busy around here, all over the place. So, Go on. You got the comm right now.
Yeah, I mean, so the other story was it was interesting because you're talking about the line where there was all those where the derailment happened in Attica there. There was a lot of flooding south of Columbus.
Yeah, down by Portsmouth, down that way.
So between Bluefield, West Virginia, and Portsmouth back a couple weeks ago, there was a lot of flooding. So a lot of the trains had to be detoured up this way, actually, through Conway and Cleveland. And I guess, again, another thing where, they run into issues is they didn't have enough crews to move these trains. So they ended up combining some trains, and they had to move trains, they had to move some trains out of some different districts and stuff, and obviously run trains a much longer route than they're normally used to running. So probably that helped clean up that derailment a little bit there in Attica because there wasn't as much traffic running that way. But, it's just amazing how the weather, too, this winter's been so lousy that, it's really dictated a lot of things with railroads where we've actually seen detours that haven't happened in a long time. Also with that Howard Street Tunnel in Baltimore where CSX is detouring a lot of trains around that because of that big project.
Wow. Man, you're getting a lot more news than I am, though. I'll tell you, though. So thanks for updating me on that for sure.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, there's so much going on with all these detours and stuff. And it was interesting because there was a guy on Train Orders the other day who had a post about he was talking about the double stack trains when they do get this Howard Street Tunnel finished and where the clearances are high enough to run the double stacks. There should be a lot more double stack trains running like up and down the East Coast between, say the Northeast and Florida. So excited to see where that goes. That's going to be a really fascinating, time and, story there where are you going to be able to see people really, go out and, obviously see more trains, but at the same time grow a business where for years we've been waiting. And I mean, we've been waiting for this forever. Would they ever grow that double stack and even auto rack traffic on that CSX line up and down the coast? And let's see if they can pull it off, man. I mean, I think that would be a big boom to their business. In an area where they probably should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. Remember the other time, a couple of times ago, we had somebody that don't like us doing train talk. He's on here tonight under a different name tonight. I know you're listening to me, sir, though, but I don't know why you hate why we're talking about trains and stuff. Just think about this for a minute, sir. Where are you going to get your vehicle you drive in? Where are you going to get your toilet paper to wipe your tushy? It's all because of the railroad industry, and this whole country depends on it. It really does. Where you get your dog food, where you gonna get your bacon and eggs? Oh, it comes by railway. Comes by frozen. How about your frozen TV dinners? Please think about that. This is current news that we are talking about, and I'm sorry you don't like us talking about the trains and stuff, though, but just trying to put you at ease, sir. Anyway, I had to put that comment in there because he always comes on here with a different name all the time. Oh, no, it's Train Night and that, though, and making comments, though. But I'm not going to be rude and repeat his comments or anything like that, though. I mean, nothing bad or anything, though, anything like that. So, anyway, all right, let's go on. I had to at least say that,
Yeah,
I'm trying to be respectful and everything, and I respect people's opinion, but people don't realize the industry of railroading is very vital to this country. If we didn't have it, though, we wouldn't have nothing.
Oh, it's very true. Yeah, and a lot of people have dedicated their lives and stuff to this. I mean, you got people that have worked years and years and years for the railroad, and it's not an easy industry to work in, as we found out, and they sacrificed a ton of things, whether it's people, the U.S. or Canada or other countries. So, Yeah, I think, definitely, look, if you don't agree with all the stuff we talk about or whatever, that's one thing, but don't totally disrespect the people who go out there and put everything on the line. Because, Mike, I mean, I was just talking to a friend of mine in Canada who works for one of the Class 1s up there, and he was saying that, with the conditions, with the winter and everything like it's been up there, there's been a couple times they've had to stop the trains he's been on, and inspect them. And he goes, we've had the trains break apart up there, and he goes, thank goodness we've never had a derailment or anything on the line he's on. But it's crazy, man. These people, they put a lot on the line, and this is not like driving a car or even a truck. When you're talking about a 2 or 3 mile long train, there are a lot of things that can go on, and it's you got to be very. It's not a skill you learn overnight how to handle those things.
Absolutely. Hey, I got one of our good listeners here, John AB3ZI, though. He says, I, for one, find all rail aspects, logistics, interesting. So we got one person out, though. Then Cork says, I find railroad people very sexy. And I'll tell you what, last couple videos ago, we had 2 lady train conductors, though. Both very nice ladies. I met them both in the past, so, and one real cute blonde. But I give them the thumbs up, though, too, for what they do. And that's hard work, though, being a conductor, having to get out and cut cars and, directing the engineer what to do and all this. I mean, I give them credit, though. I give these fine ladies credit, though. I really do. I hope they're listening, too, so... Anyway, let's go on.
It's a tough job, and they do it in all sorts of weather. Yeah, no doubt about it, Mike. It's they're very underappreciated for sure. With everything they do. Let's see here. The next story I was going to pull up. Actually, now this is something I was thinking about, and Jack Stryker brought this up with me. I guess the Watco, I think it's a corporation. They're buying the Great Lakes Central in up in Michigan. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It'd be really interesting where this goes, Mike, because anytime these corporations come in and they try to make it like they try to make it a big deal where they try to come in and run these short lines, things ultimately do change. It'll be interesting to see how many employees stay on. I've heard like lumber and fertilizer are a couple big commodities that the Great Lakes Central carries. And the other thing that he brought up with me in this question was, how will this affect like the Ann Arbor Railroad? Because I think the Ann Arbor, I've never really rail fan up there, so I don't know it as much as he does. But how do they connect with the Great Lakes Central? How will that affect operations? It'll be interesting with Watco, because I think they're kind of like the Genesee in Wyoming. It's like a corporation that runs all these short lines. And, will the employees stay on? Is this going to become like what we're seeing with the big railroads? Is this going to be a bad thing, or is it going to be a good thing? So I guess it's almost like the sterilization of railroading we're seeing with all this corporate takeover, and it's shy. I guess it's not surprising because money is the big thing behind this, and they obviously, Watco probably thinks they can make a lot of money up in Michigan by doing this.
Wow, absolutely fantastic. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing when I was doing the Oak Harbor video. I think I told you 22H had a critical alarm that day. Remember that?
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Yep,
I mentioned that to you, though.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see where the conductor was there, looking at the train, because it was on the side of the track so that I was on, though, and I actually went down other cross to try to sight this guy, and I couldn't find him anywhere. But, it came to a good ending, though. They didn't find anything wrong. I guess they concluded that maybe the detector was faulty or malfunctioned or something. But, hey, at least it malfunctioned in favor of safety,
Yeah, there must have been something going on with that train that day, because I remember, Mike, that train I saw, that was that last weekend?
Yeah. It was last Sunday.
Yeah, I remember seeing him at Leedsdale. He went by like at night, like a few hours later than he normally does, and then
because he was held up there for a good hour and a half.
yeah, and then I remember seeing him on the Horseshoe Curve page on the update, the PT 242 website, and I saw that he didn't go by there till like 6 in the morning. So I'm assuming he had some work at Pitcairn, but I'm wondering if they found something else there.
Possibility.
Because it seemed like, usually even when they have work at Pitcairn, the train makes it over Horseshoe at pretty good time. Interesting you found that there. Oak Harbor, it's cool to see you got back there, man. I like that spot. It's a unique spot with the trestle going over the Chicago line there, and I think it's a great spot.
Yeah, it really is, and I got a fantastic shot of two, one going over and the other going under that day too. So that'll be covered up upcoming week here. I just wondered what the train crew thought of us. I had my friend, we call him Steve, the graffiti reader. He can identify what city the graffitis were painted from, because they have certain colors, I guess, when they do these graffitis and stuff. I mean, I thought it was interesting, and he said, I thought he was pulling my leg, At least it wasn't a center leg or something. I said, no way. And he says, yeah, I seen him do it. They use certain colors, in different places that he's been. And I thought, okay. So, no, I was going to say, I just wonder what the train crew thought, because when I was doing the ending of the video, it was the very last train in Oak Harbor. Did my closing stuff, and we started heading back east toward homeward. On the way there, we heard that defect detector going off, critical alarm. And I thought, oh, wow, that was 22H. So they ended up stopping at the 158 intersection of State Route 163 there. And, yeah, the lead locomotive was down there and everything. They were stopped. Then when they proceeded, though, after they found nothing wrong, they seen us again. And I wonder what they thought. Well, here's the kicker. Then we decided, well, let's get some night shots, though, before it got dark. So we went over to by Ceylon. And here we outran 22H again, and they seen us again for the third time. And I just wondered, is these guys haunting us or what? I was almost going to be a smart ass, so I'm saying, you know what? Let's head out to Olmsted Falls and get off of Columbia Road and see if we can catch them again. And I thought, nah, it's getting too late, it's getting too dark.
yeah. Or you could have gone like even east of there, gone over to like Fun and Stuff, or gone over to Hudson or something like that. But
no, I could have beat them out to Olmsted Falls, so Route 2 all the way and turned it into 480 up, Pike into 480 and got out there, but. Nah, I was getting too tired. We just hung around the area and got a couple of nice shots. So, anyway, I just wonder what they thought, because they knew damn well I was the same guy,
Well, yeah, that's funny how you caught that train a couple times.
I thought that was pretty comical, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, a couple other stories, actually. This is kind of a big story that just was breaking from yesterday. I guess the BNSF recently completed the replacement of a railroad bridge near Fenner, California, on its southern Transcon main line, which connects the West Coast with the Midwest. And I guess the contractor crews from BNSF and Kramer North America replaced a 350-foot double-track concrete beam bridge with new steel beams and track panels. I guess the teams worked round the clock. BNSF officials said in a post on social media yesterday. Work was completed slightly ahead of schedule. They did one track at a time. It was challenging because it was in a remote location. So this is a big thing that they went and did. I guess they did this over the last couple of weeks. Probably good to do it this time of year. Considering how hot it could get there, probably starting in April all the way till, probably October. being out in the desert there. So good decision to do that. And obviously with that, the traffic they have in the UPS and the FedEx and all the stuff, JB Hunt, that was a must move that they made. So credit to BNSF for making a move like that.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. We're going on 27 minutes, so trying to keep it not too long here. But go ahead with the other stories.
Yeah. So one other story here. I was bashing Union Pacific earlier, and I guess the one thing that they probably are starting to realize is, that they understand that, a lot this railroad career, like we're talking about, Mike, is not for everybody. So now I guess they are now investing in over $1 million in free college tuition for employees to go to the educational assistance program. So I guess they're saying that full-time employees can enroll in courses to pursue advanced degrees. So I guess it's their partnership with the University of Nebraska in Omaha and Metropolitan Community College. So it'll be really interesting to see, how this goes down. Do some of these guys get out of the rail industry if they get these degrees? Because that would be what I would think. If you're going back to school, if you've been in an industry for a while, you're probably looking to change careers. So, I mean, I guess this is the least they could do, but it's amazing how they've waited so long to do this, because I think probably there's been so much blowback that they're losing a lot of people. They're just losing so many people that, don't want to work out there anymore because it's getting really tough to do.
Yeah, railroading ain't for everybody. You got to be in best of shape. You got to have sharp minds. You got to be aware of your surroundings. There's all kinds of key factors in railroading. Got to be well aware. Because I was going to say, in the classroom, you get an F if you fail something. In the real world on railroading, you get killed.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
True.
You get an F in the classroom, though, but you get killed in the field if you don't do it right.
Absolutely, man. No, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, that's a perfect way of looking at it. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that it's important there. But one other story here, I guess, rail projects in question due to federal funding freeze, according to the PennDOT leader, Mike Carroll. I guess he's the transportation secretary here in Pennsylvania. I guess there's been talk about they want to they might add another track on the NS main line across Pennsylvania to add a second daily train to the Amtrak Pennsylvania service, which would come over here to Pittsburgh. The other project is from Reading to Philly. I guess that's not very far along, and they were even talking about adding a thing to adding some traffic, or where you could have some traffic between Scranton and New York City. But I guess none of that is they haven't even started doing this, I guess. A lot of this is obviously tied in with the government. We just know how it is. And, so hopefully they do this, because I think a lot of people do take the train because they think driving to New York City or even Philly is a pain, with the cost of parking and all that. And they figure that a train is just an easier, more relaxing way to go. Plus the problems with airlines nowadays is a lot of flights get canceled, and or you gotta if you're flying from, say, Pittsburgh to New York City, sometimes they'll divert you to they'll take you down to Charlotte or something. They'll take you way out of the way. So it's crazy to think about it, man. But I hope they do this, because I think it's only good for Amtrak and the customers who want to travel this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see. We're probably actually going on 30 minutes, so you got anything else? Because we've been on here quite a bit here.
I think that covers a lot of it.
Got it pretty covered? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the only other story was, I guess they're talking, there's talk later that hopefully in the spring we're going to finally be able to see those Norfolk Southern run-through trains are going to get on the CSX at Worcester, and they're going to be on. They're going to come from Ayer, Mass, and they're going to come down and get on the CSX main line in Worcester, and then they're going to go all the way out through Selkirk, and then they'll get off the main line in Voorheesville. So that's going to be a big thing. I guess they're qualifying crews. They're raising clearances. There's a guy on train orders. I think his name is John. Can't think of his last name. John something. He's really like insightful with this stuff. He posts a lot on there, and even some of the old school rail fans on there, like this guy Rail Nuts, who used to have a great website back in the day. He was kind of like the Adam Schefter of rail fanning back in the day. He had all the great scoop, the great information. He even had some good information about like what the Providence and Worcester would involve themselves with it. So it just shows that, this is a big project. Can they grow the freight traffic into New England? I guess they can't do anything with that Hoosick Tunnel. So that's why NS is going to run trains down the CSX tracks for, a few hundred miles there. And we're going to see what happens, how this goes, Mike. Does this grow the business? And let's just hope it really matters for New England, and it helps out the economy, and there's something positive coming out of this, because right now I feel like there's not enough freight coming out of New England.
Wow. Fantastic. Well, at least sounds like they're cooperating with each other, getting the job done. That's a good thing, I guess.
It is, yeah. They got to do it, man. And I think that, there's really only one. I mean, there's technically two freight routes in and out of New England, but the CSX one is the far superior line. And it'll be interesting when those trains start running that way, what kind of time they get over the road. Does CSX delay those trains? Do they run them like their own trains? How does it work, man? So a lot of unanswered questions, but that'll be fun to see how that progresses, and hopefully they, really can grow the industry in that sense around there. Where New England railroading has always kind of, I don't want to say it's been a redheaded stepchild, but it's never been what it should be.
Absolutely. All right. Well, okay. I'm going to have to turn it over here real soon here. So once again, I want to thank you very much for coming on here tonight. We covered quite a bit, though, both on our parts here, I guess. Anyway, I guess we're going to see you back again on April 5th, though, which would be the first of next month. So we're going to see you back on April 5th.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good, Mike. And appreciate you having me back on. And I'll be in touch with you, letting you know about any trains that are coming or things like that.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you coming on here. Really
have a good night, man.
All right, you have a good one, though, and hope you catch something good out there. I assume you're out there watching.
Not tonight. I already went tonight. A little cold tonight, but I saw a bunch a couple hours ago.
Okay, yeah, it's about 22 degrees around here, so probably about the same over there. So, all right, thanks, Dave. I'll talk to you during the week, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Sounds good, Mike.
Okay, Dave. Thank you much.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was David Coleman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, updating me on railroad news and things like that, though. Very important infrastructure to our country. I mean, as I stated before, where are you going to get your stuff? Where are you going to get your tools? Or where are you going to get your everything? Everything depends on the railroad, so always remember that. It's very vital to the country. Anyway, that's enough out of me.